All right, let's just get right into it. We are living in a world where AI can explain, well, pretty much anything. But here's the thing we're going to explore today: why that's just not enough, especially for smart people. We're going to look at the irreplaceable and, honestly, the powerful role of a real, live human conversation.
I mean, just start with this. This quote right here is everything. This is not some abstract theory about heartbreak. This is what heartbreak actually is when you're a person who still has to, go to Target. It's messy, it's real, and it's a kind of truth an AI could never, ever come up with because it's never lived.
And this just lays it out so perfectly, doesn't it? I can ask an AI to explain heartbreak, and it'll give me this beautiful, clinical, totally correct analysis of attachment theory, neurotransmitters, the whole deal. But my friend, she gives me the rotisserie chicken. One is information. The other, that's reality.
So think about it like this, right? It's the difference between a recipe and your grandma's cooking. A recipe gives you the data, the pure information, the steps. But your grandma is the one who's going to slap your hand away and say, nope, not yet. I can smell it's not ready. See? She isn't giving you more information. She's connecting you to the real world. And that gap is exactly what we're talking about today.
Okay, so this brings us to our first big idea, what we're calling the mirror problem. Here's the deal. AI is an absolutely incredible tool for reflecting and organizing our own thoughts. It's maybe the world's best yes man. It will help you build a perfect logical case for anything. But it's missing one critical thing: friction. Real-world friction. So let's say you get a wild idea. You tell your AI, I want to start an alpaca farm. And boom, it gets to work. It gives you a market analysis, outlines the startup costs. It even finds you all these amazing success stories. It builds you this flawless, totally airtight argument for your brilliant new life as an alpaca farmer. And then your friend walks in. They take one look at your beautiful, perfect plan, and they just say, dude, you're allergic to hay. And that's it. That's the whole ballgame. The entire logical palace you built just comes crashing down because of one tiny, simple piece of reality. So this is what people do. This is the reality friction we're talking about. It's not that they're smarter than the AI, but they remember you're allergic to hay. They know that your new boss absolutely hates corporate buzzwords. They ground your perfect, clean logic in the messy, complicated swamp of the actual world. All right, let's go a little deeper now for our next point, because this isn't just about logic. This is about a biological need, something that technology just fundamentally cannot meet. It's about what happens not just in your brain, but in your actual nervous system when you connect with another person. I mean, look at this. This comes from a story about lockdown. An AI companion app was, kind of helpful. It was good for organizing thoughts. But what actually fought off that deep, crushing loneliness? A silent video call. Just eating lunch while seeing a sister's face on the screen. The difference is just, wow. And here's the reason why. Your mind, the logical part of your brain, it loves information. It can process data from an AI all day long. But there's a much deeper, more primitive part of you, your animal self. And it's biologically wired to sync up with other nervous systems. It doesn't just need information. It needs to see another animal's face and feel, on a really deep level, okay, I'm not alone. Okay, this next one is so important because it gets at a hidden danger in all this. And it's this. AI has absolutely zero skin in the game. It faces no social cost, no real-world fallout for the advice it gives you. None. So check out this story. A guy uses an AI to draft the, quote, perfectly honest and logical email to his terrible boss. He feels amazing hitting send at 2 in the morning. He feels so validated. And by 9 a.m., that flawless logic has met reality, and he's unemployed. And here's the real kicker. He later admitted he didn't show it to a friend because he knew they would have talked him out of it. And that's exactly the point. A human friend would have been a natural brake system, not because they're a coward, but because they have empathy. They would have instinctively felt the social cost, the splash damage of that decision. So this all leads to a really fascinating and kind of counterintuitive idea. The smarter you are, the better you are at building these big, complex arguments, the more you might actually be vulnerable to this whole thing, to using AI as your only sounding board. See, for a really smart person, AI is like rocket fuel. It helps you build a gorgeous, internally consistent, totally airtight argument for whatever you've already decided you want to believe. A friend, on the other hand, their job isn't to add more logic. Their job is to poke holes in that beautiful little bubble you just built. And sometimes that hole poking looks exactly like this. It's not a logical takedown. It's just a simple, grounding observation that cuts through all the complex stuff you've built up in your head. It's the kind of thing that can save you from your own brilliant but totally wrong reasoning.
So, where does all this leave us? The goal here isn't to say AI is bad, not at all. It's to understand its role. And for that, we've got a really simple framework: the mirror and the gravity. Let's break that down.
First up, AI is a mirror. It's an amazing tool for self-reflection. It can take all the chaotic thoughts swirling around in your head and just arrange them neatly. It helps you practice a tough conversation or just see your own logic laid out in front of you with no judgment at all.
But if AI is the mirror, then people are gravity. They are the force that keeps you from just floating off into the cold, empty space of pure logic. They keep your feet on the ground, connected to the messy, complicated, and, beautiful reality of just being a person in the world.
And I actually live this. I was going through a career crisis, and I journaled with an AI every single day. It was incredibly valuable. It helped me think. But the moment of real clarity, the moment I knew I had to make a change, that came when a mentor just looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You look exhausted." The AI helped me think. The human made me see.
So let's just be real about what AI will never do. It's never going to interrupt you when you're spiraling in a thought loop. It won't remember the unspoken thing you mentioned last month. It will never, ever physically take the phone out of your hand at 3 a.m. And it won't just sit in that uncomfortable but sometimes necessary silence with you. And that really brings us to the final question, the one we all have to ask ourselves. When you turn to AI, are you using it as a mirror to help you think more clearly? Or are you using it to build a fortress of logic, to avoid the messy, challenging, and absolutely essential gravity of another human being? Definitely something to think about.